Hello, makers. I don't want you to listen. That's going to be some good behind the scenes, though. Hello, makers, and welcome to Making Conversation, a podcast where we celebrate all things making. My name is Jen. My pronouns are she, her, and we are in Portland, Oregon at Sacred Sheep. Hey, y'all. I was going to try and get this episode out last week. You know, something happened. I just want you to know that you are cared about. And I know that with what happened, many people feel like they're not. We have a fabulous community around us of people who care about you. And I think that this episode really showcases that and some of those people. So when I went to Sacred Sheep this year, as many of you know, Making was an app for a long time. We were a startup. Unfortunately, sometimes time and money don't align. But I wanted to keep the podcast going because of this community, at least as long as I could, right? So far, so good. But when I went into Sacred Sheep, it was kind of just with this idea that I was going to chat with people. I was going to chat with the community. I didn't know who, I didn't know what it would look like. I met some amazing people this weekend and had friendiversaries and just really got to feel that feeling of why I continue to do this podcast, why I continue to love going to these events, and why I love this community. We truly are connected in this beautiful way of creating and creativity. I think that it's a really good time to remember that while things seem very hopeless for a lot of reasons, there are things in our lives that are filled with hope, and we don't want to forget that. This is the time to turn to those things and those people. Make sure that your soul is nourished. Make sure that you have fun projects to turn to. Make sure that the people that you love know that you love them. Surround yourself with your animals. Eat yummy food. Drink yummy drinks. Focus on nourishing yourself. If we don't fill our own cups up, if we don't take care of ourselves, it makes it that much harder or impossible to care for others. And we're going to need to be doing a lot of that, as we hopefully have been. I hope you enjoy this episode. It was so much fun to record. Like I said, I just love this community. I would super appreciate if you would hit the subscribe button, share this episode and other episodes with your maker friends. Again, I do this for fun. I do this for love of community. And I do this because I really enjoy creating and being creative. And I hope that you enjoy it too. All right, y'all, let's just get to it.
Friends spoil you.
I love that.
I do too.
Nice.
I feel so lucky.
Introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello. So my name's Emily. I live in Minnesota, and I am the Botanical Knitter on Instagram and on the YouTubes.
What is your maker journey?
I might get a little.
Oh, okay.
So,
I
in
mean,
like the
we
best
love that.
way. So, I learned how to knit. My aunt taught me in 2009. I was diagnosed with cancer and had to drop out of school. And today is my 15-year remission. So, it's like So, it's like So, it's like when I first learned how to knit, I would just knit flat. And then I didn't touch it for the longest time, right? But it was there waiting for me. And then in January 2020, before COVID, I took a class through the city to learn how to knit and around. And then I stopped when I got to the decreases because I was like, what is magic loop? What are the multiple needles? I don't understand, right? Like, I've learned since. I know how to magic loop. Still cannot use DPNs, but that's neither here nor there.
Who needs DPNs? It's
But
fine.
that my teacher.
No offense, everyone.
Yeah.
That loves DPNs. If you're a DPN
Small
fan-
circular, what up?
Yeah, it's
So she's here actually today too. So I'm
Oh my
self-taught by
gosh.
my aunt. Kate is here.
Love it.
And then Grandma YouTube taught me.
Grandma YouTube.
Grandma YouTube, COVID happened,
Yeah.
picked it back up, got real obsessed because I saw the indie dye thing and I realized it wasn't just Michael's. And now I knit and I spin and I sew and I naturally dye for fun. And I'm just like, it's my personality now.
Wow.
And I'm here.
Yeah. And you're here.
I'm here.
You came to Sacred Sheep last year, right?
I came to Sacred Sheep last year,
Okay.
yep.
What is your favorite thing about this festival?
Community.
Yeah.
It's a smaller pace. We know Rhinebeck is amazing, but it is all about the shopping. Here, it's smaller and there's more connection. Like, look at all the people sitting and knitting and making together. And a couple of us were joking that it's our friendiversary because we met at Sacred Sheep last year just by sitting at the same table together. So I think that's what's beautiful about this event.
Yeah. I've had a couple of those where it's like I knew people like Vanessa Ocean Knits. Like we followed each other before,
Some
but
good yarn.
like hadn't met in real life until last year at Sacred Sheep.
It's just,
Yeah.
and the Instagram thing is like your friends, your internet friends are your friends.
Yeah.
Like half these people, I met Jasmine for the first time and then we spent the night at, like she stayed at my Airbnb.
Yeah.
So it's like people you meet on the Instagram or YouTube is like a little scary when your friends are like, wait, you met this person online and you're gonna go meet them and, okay. But
There
it's
is
like,
there is a thing that's like not everyone understands it.
no,
Yeah.
but it's just we have that in common
Yeah.
and it's like making us such a deep bond.
What is the most memorable piece of advice that you've received from another maker?
Oh my gosh. It does not have to be perfect.
Yes.
So my friend Teresa taught me how to spin, and she is very much a no rules person.
Yeah.
And like my first hand spun yarn was the ugliest, wonkiest, not art yarn because it was not intentionally done. But she said to me, "You made yarn.
Yeah.
If you wanted it perfect, you would buy it, right?" Like,
Yeah.
but there's this thing about like when you're making your clothes, it is about connecting to fiber, to other artists, to the earth, right? Like a land stewardship with natural dyes and whatever. And it's not about that perfection. Like there's beauty in messing up things or loose knits, or I'm pointing to my color work because I'm feeling like a little, like it's a little loosey-goosey. But it doesn't have to be perfect, and it's perfect in its own way because you made it, right?
Yeah.
So that
One of
to
a
me
kind.
is like I'm a very type A perfectionist, and it's that constant not correcting myself, but being kind to myself and being like, I'm doing something really cool, and it is what it needs to be.
Hell yeah.
Making.
Who is somebody in our community that you admire and why?
Oh, that's so hard because I am around an amazing community of women makers in Minnesota. They all have taken me under their wing and helped me learn things. So maybe I'll say my friend Teresa. She used to live in the city, bought some land. She has a flock of sheep. She bought a mill. She brought a mill. She has a mill on her property now, and she's all about burn pile wool, right? Like not worth it. People would just burn it. She's like, no, let's challenge that. So she buys from shepherds to give them their money for raising sheep that would have burned their wool. So she's supporting the little economy, and then she's making really good, tough sock yarn out of it that people who are used to using superwash or commercially spun are buying. So it's like creating this ecosystem of beautifulness. And I am just constantly inspired by her. And she will let me come help out at the mill. And like, I can do no wrong. Like, you should watch me skirt fleece. It takes me hours. Remember that type A perfectionism? Don't ask me to pull VM out of your wool. It will take me days.
Yeah.
But she's like, again, doesn't need to be perfect. You can do no wrong. So her making to me is like, she's taught me a lot, and I'm grateful for that.
Where can people find her yarn to support her?
Yeah, so Teresa is Get Ben's Farm. She's in Northfield, Minnesota. She's got a mill. She's been doing some collabs with some indie dyers, and she's just salt of the earth, amazing people.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I am Tessa. My Instagram is Tzines.
My name is Becka. I am Radiant Beans, like coffee beans. Beans.
What do people think it is? when you say that?
Somebody thought beings.
Oh,
beings.
Like human beings.
Yeah.
And no, it's beans.
Beans.
Yeah.
Well, you are a radiant being as well.
Radiant being.
Yes. What is each of your maker journeys?
I'm a crocheter at heart, for sure. When I was 20, I think my grandma and my mom taught me. And then I taught myself to knit 2 years ago. I started designing crochet patterns 6 years ago.
I've been crocheting for 18 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I've sold handmade things for literally years. And then after I had my second kid, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And now I'm a crochet teacher.
What is your favorite thing about Sacred Sheep? Why did you want to come to this festival?
I was super pumped about the VIP swag bag. I really wanted that red bag.
Yeah.
But
the coveted red bag.
so good. I've already had people coming up to me being like, how did you get that? So, no, that was cool. But obviously, I love the friends, the people. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing. Being in person with other makers. Like, we have something in common with pretty much anybody that's here.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. And I always leave these events feeling like inspired and like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I love what I do. This is really cool. And you get to hang out with friends.
What is one lesson that crafting has taught you about yourself?
For me, it's having patience and learning that, like, you might not be good at something right off, and that's okay. Because eventually you'll get it if you set your mind to it. Like, it's okay to not be good at something the first time you pick it up. That was me with knitting. It was horrible. Now I love it.
Same, honestly. I feel like it's taught me a lot of patience and taught me that I can't count as well as I thought I could.
Also same.
That's a little tough.
Yeah.
The counting, it's difficult. Yeah. Have you ever invented your own crafting hack or shortcut that you feel is like super genius?
I have one. A
Okay.
lot of the times if I were to like skip stitches a few rows behind and I realize like, oh, I'm 3 rows ahead and I did not finish that row 3 rows below, I will just like half double crochet or triple crochet to make up the difference so that I don't have to undo my work because I'm lazy. Don't want to undo anything.
That's what I like about crochet is you can kind of fill in the spaces and the gaps that you missed, or like I want the edge to go a little bit more this way. I feel like it's easier to add and take away with crochet than it is for knitting. And that could just be the newbie in me, but
No, I mean, that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So a little fudging can go a long way, you know.
Yeah. A little fudging. If you could go back in time to when you first started either teaching or designing or even just crocheting or knitting, what piece of advice would you give yourself?
Designing, I'd say don't be so hard on yourself. I was very critical of everything, and that's what the rest of the community is for, is to like help with that part. Like I took it very personal and felt like I had to have it perfect before I let it touch anyone else's hands. But now it's like, no, the testers, the tech editors, it's great to like get other people involved and to really trust them. So that was very helpful.
For me, I started before YouTube was a big thing. And so like reading patterns, I didn't read patterns until 10 years ago. And I wish that I had learned how to do it sooner and actually tried to find the resources. Even though I didn't know where to look, I wish that I found those sooner because I could have expanded so much earlier on in my experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, find the resources that help you instead of being like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Because for me, I was like, I don't know how.
Yeah. I chose a really bad place for this interview, by the way. I thought we'd be out of the way. It's fine. You're getting the real live action shots.
Yes.
Love it. What does the maker community mean to you?
It has become my everything, especially becoming a designer. I needed all the people then. It used to just be me selling to people like finished objects, and now it's like the pattern world just brought the entire community to me and vice versa. So
Nice.
it's been amazing.
I kind of feel the same. Being part of the community is super important. I just love being able to share the craft with people that I love. Like, I'm obsessed with crocheting. I crochet almost every day. And just being able to spread that and then see people like from my classes coming and saying like, now I'm going to the yarn events. Like, I have people here that are coming that learn to crochet with me. And I just feel like that's it's a really cool way to bring people together.
Yeah.
And I feel like the fiber community is just very accepting, and it just makes you feel good. Like,
Yeah.
it just makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, you two. Well, I'll let you get back to it because you have shopping to do.
We've got shopping to do.
Yes.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. My name is Jennie Lebowitz. I am visiting from Bellingham, Washington. I work at Spin Cycle Yarns.
Awesome. And what do you do for Spin Cycle?
So I primarily work in their shop, but I also help with online shipping, customer service, and I do some of their content creation. Perfect. Thank you.
So we're doing like a in-person interview right now, and you're also working. So
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm doing a cute little volunteer shift.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, what has been your favorite thing about Sacred Sheep this year?
The sheep,
Oh my gosh.
they're so adorable. One
I
of them's
know.
names is Ed, and I met him, took some pictures, love him.
Miss Vanjie was the name of the other sheep.
Oh my god.
I know.
As a Drag Race fan, I'm
know.
obsessed.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
She was like, "This is Miss Vanjie," and I was like, "What?"
Did you go Miss Vanjie?
Of course I did, and then I walked backwards. So obviously you're a Spin Cycle fan because
am.
how could you not be?
Yeah.
But is there a vendor that you were really excited to see here at the festival?
Oh my gosh, there were so many. I was very excited to go to Wandering Flock. I think actually I was most excited for Port Fiber. I followed Casey on Instagram forever. They are adorable. Oh,
Yes.
can I see your wrist real quick? Perfect. Go ahead on in. Hello.
All right.
Hey.
We're doing a little interview for the
Yeah.
podcast. Oh, no, you're good. Has the act of making introduced you to a friendship or a person that has been really meaningful
Oh
to
my
you?
gosh. So, sort of. So, I learned to knit when I was 12. My mom taught me. And so, I think that's just been like a really significant, lovely way for us to bond. She's not a big knitter, but she taught me how to knit. And from there was kind of like, here's some yarn, now make me things. So, it's
Okay,
been
Mom.
great for her and fun for me.
So she's not a big knitter though.
She's not a big knitter. She only knows the knit stitch. She used to just she'd buy the chunky yarn at Walmart and just knit back and forth and make blankets and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Was it more of like a meditative,
Yeah.
like, this is how I chill out
Yeah,
situation?
we definitely both have a little ADHD, so I think she was
Oh,
like,
I
this
can-
helps me.
yeah.
Please, calm down, little girl.
I can relate to that.
Yes.
Tell us a fun fact about yourself that has nothing to do with crafting or
Has
making.
nothing to do with crafting.
Yeah.
I have 2 dogs and a cat. My cat Otis is a 19-pound Maine Coon that thinks he's a dog.
Oh my God. Love it. If you could only use one color of yarn for the rest of your life.
Chartreuse. Gross green. I should say gross green. I wear you can't really see it. I wear so much gross green. That's all there is
I
to
love
it.
chartreuse. I have been like obsessed with like this I feel like there's been an emergence of it more lately.
definitely.
And
It's
it's
rad.
always like the first color that I wander to.
Yeah, same. I think that what's amazing about it is I feel really cool because I loved it before it was brat green. So we did
Yes.
a video at Spin Cycle for content that was the Apple Dance by Charlie XCX, and everyone in that group is wearing a sweater that I made because it already had gross green in it.
I love that the sun is coming out again. I had to like adjust to the levels.
Yes. It's so nice. The weather's been all over the place.
Oh, I know. It's Pacific Northwest
Yes.
in November. This is
Typical.
what we're dealing with. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Emily Lim. My brand is Woolen Palette, and I'm a natural yarn dyer, and I live 2 miles from here, so I'm very local.
What is your maker journey? Where did everything begin?
So my background is in graphic design. I've been doing that for 20 years, and I just was really, I think, tired of sitting at the computer all hours, all days, and I needed to move my body. And I'd always been a knitter, and I thought, I think yarn dyeing is the thing that people do. And so I started looking into that. And I went and found a book at Powell's bookstore, and it was Rebecca Burgess's Gathering Color. And it was all about natural dyeing. And then I found her Fiber Shed book. And I think that just kind of exploded a whole new world for me. And I just went down that path and I wanted to do natural dyeing. So
Awesome.
that's what I've been doing since.
How did you learn how to knit?
The Stitch and Bitch book.
Yeah.
Remember that?
That was definitely something that helped me as well.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
and like the Knitting Help website and like early days of YouTube. So that's how it all began.
What has been your favorite thing about Sacred Sheep this year?
I feel like I'm in a room of greatness. I feel like everyone here is just so wonderful and so good at what they do. And like the vibe of being here is really exciting and palpable. I think just that. I'm getting to talk to people that I've wanted to talk to for a very long time that I've really admired. I think that's been great.
Tell us a fun fact about yourself that has nothing to do with crafting or making.
Fun fact. I have a special skill of like I can pick out voiceover actors really well in movies. I'd be like, oh, that's definitely so and so, and I'll just sit through the whole movie and I'm like, no, that's that and that's that and that's that, and then I like to go like test myself on IMDb and see if I was right.
That's so great. You've got an ear for it.
Yeah, I guess so.
What was your process getting ready for the show this year?
This was a big push for me because natural dyeing is incredibly slow, super labor intensive. I can't really rush my process, but I put as much as I could into it. I had a couple events before this, so I was really planning this since May. I had a work back schedule that I needed to do throughout the summer, and then I did those events, and I kind of sold a little bit more than I wanted to, so I had to like make some really fast. So I made as much as I could, but this is an all new setup for me. Like I did the shelves, new banners, all that stuff. So it was like kind of like a master's thesis, you know, when you're like doing the most you've ever done before. So this is also a huge relief to have gotten here and been able to make the setup as big as I have.
Is there a particular part of your collection that you're super proud of, but like one thing that really stands out?
I think I told you about this earlier. I had this batch I was doing right before the show, and I was trying to make a specific orange, kind of like the one I'm making, and I had just bought a new version of this. It's called Ketachu. It's from the acacia tree, or people call it kuch. And I bought it from a different source, and I did my dyeing, and the color just turned out completely different because it's from a different source. And I panicked a little bit, but then I was like, I think I can make this right. So I went down to my basement and I found like boxes full of like 2 years worth of marigolds that I had been collecting. And I threw the yarn in the marigolds and was able to bring it back to this nice orange.
So lovely.
So yeah, it's the marigold batch.
Yeah. Happy accident.
Yeah.
Are you team perfection or team design feature, and why?
Oh, I'm definitely team design feature. I mean, I knit for fun, and last thing I want is for it to be stressful. And I definitely rip out when I absolutely have to, but I don't gauge swatch. I have so many random little holes and weird things on my projects, and I think that's what makes it special.
Awesome. I'm also team no swatch. Sometimes that upsets people, and I'm like,
does.
it's my choice.
Yes, yes.
Maybe that is the ADHD though.
Maybe. But like, also, no one knows, no one cares.
Yeah.
It's fine.
If it's something for somebody else and not me, perfection. If it's for me, I will just add the flair and it's fine. And if I mess up, that's just part of my project. But if it was an order and somebody bought it from me, perfection.
Yeah.
Fair.
Ditto there. But one thing that I love, my grandpa, he's Native American and he does a lot of beading. And one of his favorite things was when he accidentally grabbed the wrong color bead and it messed up his pattern work. But he called that's a good luck bead. Like that is there for a reason. It was meant to be there. So I consider that with like my stitches or a flaw. I'm like, well, no, that's just there. And it makes me think of my grandpa every time. So that's pretty special.
that.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
This is a moment.
Grandpa.
While I'm very proud of myself that this cardigan has no miscrossed cables, I'm team design future.
Yeah.
I feel like just do it and have fun and don't worry too much about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's going to notice.
No one's going to notice. And if they do, like, well, that's a really talented knitter and they should be your friend.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was yesterday, Catherine from Brooklyn General posted on Instagram. Somebody was like, nice sweater. And she's like, thanks. And then starts showing all of the imperfections. And I think that it's like, as people who make or craft, like, we know the imperfections, but nobody else is going to see it.
I
So,
think
like,
we want to talk about the imperfections too, to just be like, look, you can make this too. And I think sometimes you see somebody make a beautiful sweater and you can just feel like, well, I could never do that.
Yeah.
And so when someone shows off the imperfections, it makes it feel more doable.
Yeah.
And it just makes it feel like, hey, we're all walking around with like
one of a
stitch
kind.
to the wrong way, and we've all fudged it, and it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, who are you? And what are you doing here at Sacred Sheep?
I'm Jude Bratcher. My mom is Rachel, and she owns Ritual Dyes.
Awesome. And what have you been doing to help this weekend?
I've been helping take care of the sheep, and I've also been doing other stuff.
Yeah, like testing the photo booth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot.
You're good with that?
Yeah.
Why are you proud of your mom?
Well, I'm just really proud of my mom for like creating this giant like event where there's like a ton of people here.
Nice.
And like everybody's like super into it because of my mom. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm really
Very
happy for her.
Which sheep is your favorite?
Probably Eddie for short, Edison for long.
Yeah.
Edison is just like an easier name to pronounce instead of Miss Vinci.
Miss Vanjie?
Vanjie.
Yeah.
See, I can't even pronounce it.
That's okay. And Ed's kind of sassy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Miss Vanjie just seems chill. I feel like that matches your energy. A little sassiness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how to knit or crochet?
I do some knitting and crocheting at school.
Have you made anything lately?
I am working on a little felt pouch that I just finished.
Cool.
And then I'm going to start working on a pig.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is your favorite color of yarn to knit with?
Probably white or black.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time. Oh, that was great. Hi.
Hi. We're here again.
Here again. All right. Chaos time. Now, let's go. Who
All right.
are you? Introduce yourself to everyone.
I'm Andrea. I go by the Knitting PT online on Instagram.
Yes.
I'm a physical therapist, and
It's authentic.
it's all real. It's all real. I'm a physical therapist. I'm a knitter and spinner, all the fiber arts things. But I teach people how to make while keeping their bodies healthy and happy, and hopefully pain-free.
How long have you been a PT and how long have you been a knitter?
I've been a PT for 11 years now, and I've been a knitter for actually the same amount of time. Yeah.
Are you just not realizing that?
Maybe. Well, so I call it serious knitting,
Got it,
where like
yeah.
you knit kind of daily almost.
Yeah.
That started, around the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just had a realization just
Yeah.
now. I like this.
So I first learned crochet from my mom when I was, I think, in high school. I made a really bad scarf for an ex-boyfriend. Yeah. And then after that, I never did it again. It was an ex-boyfriend for a reason.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then when I went to college, I saw a girl like knitting in the common room, and I was just like, hey, would you teach me? And she said, sure. So she taught me, and I learned, and I only like knit like a scarf like once every year or two. It was basically whenever I had break.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it until I was studying for my board exams as a physical therapist. And then I used to try to sew, not very good at it because I'm not very precise when it comes to cutting. And this sewer I followed online in a blog. It was back when, people used blogs.
Yes.
Before Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she had made a blog post about making socks. And I was like, oh, I did not know you could make socks.
I love this.
And I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. After I take my exam, I'm going to learn how to knit socks.
Yeah.
And then I obsessively knit socks for like a year.
Oh, how many
Yeah.
socks did you knit?
I think I knit like 6
Total or pairs?
pairs.
Okay.
6 pairs. Yeah,
So
yeah.
12.
Yeah, 12
You knit
total.
12
yeah,
socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, we went into shawls and hats, and I was like, I'm never making garments. Like, that doesn't sound like a fun time.
Right.
But somehow decided to make garments, sweaters, when I lived in Texas, when I couldn't wear them.
yeah.
Yeah, but now, now I live on the East Coast, and I'm cold all the time, so
Yeah.
it works out. Yeah.
Speaking of being cold,
Oh, yeah.
let's do something.
Yeah.
I mean, you said this already, but you ensure that people who craft can do it for a long time, because a lot of times we end up doing this and we don't realize it. I just stood up extra straight after that. So let's go through like an exercise that you would like
Yeah.
a stretch or something that you'd be like, everyone who crafts should do this.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to do 2, I think.
I
One
love
for
it.
upper body, one for lower body.
All right.
So first one we're going to do is something that I call, well, it's going to be like 2 moves in one.
Hello. Hi, everybody. If anybody is registered for Sari's 3:30 class, 3:30 lecture with Sari, please head out to the courtyard and get checked in for your class. We'll be starting in about 10 minutes. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. So it'll be kind of 2 moves in one, but it's called like rainbow elbows and sprinklers. So
Okay.
you're going to put like your hands behind your head,
Okay.
and then you're going to inhale, and as you inhale, you're going to think about lifting your rib cage up off your body, and then you're going to arch over like you're drawing a rainbow with your elbows. You can go side to side. The main thing is really think about lifting that rib cage up so we get lots of space in our spine here. A lot of times we end up curled like a shrimp, we're compressing everything. And then we're going to come back to the middle. We're going to lift up again, and this time we're going to rotate to one side and then rotate to the other. Yep.
This feels really good.
Yeah, right? I can feel my spine cracking.
I know. I feel like if I go far enough, I could just.
As a kid, I used to have like dreams of being able to like come out of my body and then pick up my body and like twist it and crack it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had dreams like that?
Oh, I had like fantasies of being able to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like I really wanted to do that.
Maybe you should also be a chiropractor. In your next life. Yeah.
No, but the point was I want to do it to myself, though.
Oh,
yeah,
got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Not to
Wow.
like other people.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. All right. Next, we're going to do squats, which may seem like kind of like I don't know.
My specialty. Ready.
So the main thing with squats is a lot of people have knee pain when they do squats because they're not using their glutes, their butt muscles. So we're going to learn how to use our butt muscles for this. So we're going to stand feet hip width apart or so. And then the first thing you're going to do is you're going to hinge at your hips, okay? I'm going to stand to the side so you can see. So you're going to hinge at your hips.
I'll be front.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
You go to the
Uh-huh.
side. Okay.
And then you bend your knees and come down. And then you're going to stand up. As you stand up, you're going to squeeze your butt muscles together.
Squeeze your butt muscles.
Yeah. So the main thing with this is when you hinge and then you bend your knees, you want to spread your butt cheeks, okay? So that we really make sure our glutes are working. Another way is you could pretend that there's like trash compactor walls trying to squeeze your butt in, and your butt is the only thing holding it open.
Oh my God, that's stressful.
I know it is, right? Yeah. So really spread those butt cheeks, pretend like you're sitting in a chair, and then power back up. Yeah.
Cool. And like, if people are like, oh, I want to kind of like try it with weights.
Yeah.
What should they? I mean, like, grab cans of tomato soup.
Yeah, You could even put them on your shoulders. Like some people rack their weight, so you could like put big bottles of water on your shoulders like this.
Yeah.
Or you could hold them at your sides.
Yeah.
You go like this. Or if you want to hold like one dumbbell, you can hold it here like a goblet.
I love a goblet squat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to lift weights. It's fun. It's like, it makes
Gets
me
the
feel
blood
good.
going. It's good for us,
Yeah.
It's good for bone density, for
Yeah.
health, to lift weights. Yeah.
And I feel like it does help with my sitting for hours and crafting.
And then, we want our glutes to be strong because we do sit on them all day long.
Yeah.
And, we need our glutes to kind of help carry our bodies when we're not sitting down.
Also, who doesn't want a nice butt?
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
I just said that. Okay. Well, if you want to know more, definitely find Andrea online.
My website is ptandrea.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you could make an outfit for a celebrity, who would it be?
I'm a public policy nerd. So my pop culture isn't great. So I would probably pick like a lawmaker that I really like.
Oh, yeah.
Like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I would probably, I got to meet her and that was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
And I would like knit her a collar. But it has to be like the raddest, boldest,
Yes.
powerful collar.
Yeah.
So my friend Susie's a yarn dyer, and she said back in the day, like bright purple was kind of a risque color to wear, but it was a sign of like confidence. And so she has a colorway called Renegade. So I feel like that would be the one I would do.
Yeah.
Or maybe somebody from the Housewives.
Yeah.
I love reality
we
TV.
bonded over that
Yeah.
earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
We both do. It's fine. It's fine.
Self-care.
You don't lie. You also like the Real Housewives.
There's no judgment.
No.
And it is prime for if you're knitting and spinning and watching TV.
It's so good.
Maybe Karen from Real Housewives of Potomac. I'd knit her something. The Grand Dame.
Yes.
Yes. I feel like that would be it. That's
The
it.
Grand
Final
Dame.
answer.
I love
RBG and Karen Huger from Real Housewives of Potomac. It's quite the
And-
spectrum.
Yeah, I was going to say, and they're so similar.
I don't think that I have the skill level yet, but I would love to knit a costume for Chapel Roan, like something bright colored and crazy. I saw someone on Instagram that had made one of her outfits, but they crocheted it. They'd like crocheted like Marie Antoinette hair and everything.
Oh my gosh.
I strive for that level of talent.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to go find that. That's amazing.
Oh my goodness. I mean, wow.
It's a hard question.
That is a hard question. I mean, I don't really think I have anything outlandish enough to dress Chapel Rowan in, but like that would be really fun. I mean, I'd love to see what Julia Fox would do. Chriselle from Selling Sunset. I mean, we can go. I mean, this could be a whole like 10 series podcast on just that. That's a great question.
I think that you had some pretty good answers for that.
I have nothing. I'm not really into celebrities. Don't care.
Like who?
You know what? I don't know if everybody would think of this person as a celebrity, and I already kind of mentioned them, but like in my mind, Rebecca Burgess, who started the Fiber Shed movement and wrote these books that changed my life. Oh my God, I'm gonna get a little teary-eyed.
Oh.
If I could just show her what her stuff means to me, that would be really cool.
I know. I mean, this thing that we do is so meaningful to us, right? Yeah. Especially when you are like going a step further and like putting your heart and soul into, dyeing and creating this beautiful yarn that people use and put their heart and soul into something else. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think people that are doing amazing things for sustainability and for the planet and trying to change the textile industry in general. Yeah. Those people have really spoken to me, and I want to do something good for the world.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're so
And
wonderful.
emotional.
Never be sorry. I'm a Cancer, Pisces, Cancer. I cry all the time.
You brought it out of me.
My name is Dustin Fleming, and I'm here with my wife, Vanessa Fleming, Ocean Knits.
You also dye yarn as well.
Correct. Well,
Yes.
in a way.
In a way.
Yeah.
What does the in a way mean? What does that mean?
I come up with the ideas, and I carry the water. I do everything but put the dye in there.
Your yarn is inspired by records, correct?
Correct. LPs. Howlin' Bear Fibers.
For you, what does prep for a Fiber Arts Festival look like?
Long nights. Yeah.
Husband of the Year award?
Yeah, Husband of the Year award.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Lots of behind the scenes stuff.
Have you chatted with anybody who's bought any of your yarn yet?
Yes, we saw someone yesterday who did a beanie.
Nice.
So that was cool.
How do you choose the record that the yarn is inspired from?
Well, I have to like the band.
Oh, that's a good
I have
start.
to like the colors. The first one, Disraeli Gears, is me and my dad's favorite band, Cream. So
Nice.
that's why I chose that.
That's awesome. Do you know how to knit or crochet yet?
She lets me do a few rows occasionally. And then probably fixes them when I'm not looking. But yeah.
That's cute. Is there somebody in the crafty community or maker community that you admire?
I mean, besides my wife.
You could say your wife.
Yeah, Vanessa for sure. She's a powerhouse. She does it all the time.
Yeah.
Never an off switch. She's
Yeah.
always go, go, go. At Flock, I met Fiber Hustle, who also dyes LPs. So shout out to him.
Y'all just opened. There is the wife. Y'all just opened a shop.
Yes.
In Astoria. What was something that you learned right off the bat that you didn't know you were going to be learning while opening a fiber arts shop?
Things happen. The roof is leaking because they're doing construction, so that's fun.
Is the yarn okay?
Yes, the yarn is fine. There's buckets catching the water. They got it fixed now.
Nice.
It's busier than I thought it was going to be, especially after summer.
Yeah.
It's been great. It's gone pretty much how I thought it would.
Nice.
Vanessa kills it at everything she does.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us one fun fact about you that has nothing to do with crafting or making or dyeing yarn.
I like the new Sabrina Carpenter album.
Oh, there it is. There it is. What's
Yeah.
your favorite song?
Bedchem.
Or do you like sing it loud and dance around? Yeah, yeah. I kind of figured that you were that kind of person.
Yeah, for sure. I put my all into the music.
Yes,
so.
very good, very good. And that ties back to your yarn. Look at that,
Absolutely.
full circle.
Yep, I did it.
Tell me about your show color.
We don't have a particular show color. We were inspired by the show for a new colorway that we're going to continue to have in the store.
Ooh.
Disco sheep. It's a chocolatey brown with hints of rainbow colors throughout. And the reason for this is every time I do a show color, I'm always obsessed and I feel really sad not being able to do it again. And I've already had my local community wanting this colorway in the stores, so it's happening. And then, so this is Disco Sheep, Sacred Sheep, and then we have Sacred Ocean. So I kind of had a play on words, and this one's really fun. It's mainly blues with pops of fluorescent yellow and hot pink. It's really cute. And then the Surrey is definitely giving me Sully vibes from Monsters, Inc., which I think is really cute. And then we have our new colorway. This is our shop colorway, Ocean Rainbow. We will always have this at the shop, but I thought it would be really fun to bring the Sacred Sheep too. And it's pretty much a perfect blend of my aesthetic in terms of yarn. We got a new Howlin' Bear colorway too for Sacred Sheep. Fleetwood Mac, Tango in the Night. A very weird album. Of course, I had to listen to it while I dyed all of this up, but really pretty blues and greens with hints of this pop of an orangey red. You kind of have to unravel the skeins to see it, but I think it'll be really fun when it's knit up. It'll be pretty neutral sweater with a pop here and there.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing amazing.
Thanks for doing this.
My name is Elizabeth, and I am Elizabeth is Knitting.
Awesome. On Instagram?
On Instagram.
Great.
And TikTok.
And TikTok. What is your maker story? How did everything begin?
My grandmother taught me to knit when I was but a little baby.
Mm-hmm.
But she just taught me knit and then was like, "You're on your own, girl." So
Okay, grandma.
Yeah, she was amazing, but she was not lovey grandma.
Got it.
So then when I just loved yarn,
Yeah.
As a kid, I was just I just want to have the yarn, even though I didn't know what to do with it. And I would just kind of knit and then forget about it.
Yeah.
And then when I was in high school, the Stitch and Bitch book came out.
Oh, yes.
And I was already Bust magazine I was obsessed with it. So, and Stitch and Bitch was just so cool because I knit the bikini. And
You're the only person that I know that's done that.
yeah, I mean,
Love it.
I never wore it in public. I did make it.
Wow. Do you still have it?
Oh, I don't think so. I wish I did. But I knit the backpack and I knit the David Bowie bag. And I feel like that book, because I didn't have anyone telling me that anything was hard, like any of the techniques were difficult.
Yeah.
I just like dove right in, and it was such a good introduction to knitting and cool patterns. And then from there, I found message boards and blogs and eventually Ravelry, and here I am.
Here you are. What's your favorite part about this festival?
Honestly, this tent, the shopping is amazing. But in Portland, we're really lucky because we have, I think, 14 yarn stores in the greater area. So, I have plenty of opportunity to shop.
Everyone in Portland has a store.
Yeah.
That's how many stores there are.
We've got 5 stores. Getting to see the things in real life is fantastic, and I always love that about festivals. But honestly, just getting to sit in the tent and socialize and getting to just look at what everyone's making and finding someone that made the same sweater as you. It's like that stuff, just the social part is really fun. Because the social part of knitting is my favorite part of it.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have a local meetup that you go to?
Yes. So Leslie, who's maybe off camera.
Off camera, it's okay.
Off camera friend.
We'll get to you in a second.
So a couple years ago, I started a knitting Instagram, kind of just to hack the algorithm, because I was like, I don't see all the knitting things that I follow on my Instagram. And through that, I followed some local people. And so I don't remember who followed who first, but we followed each other. And one day I was just like, I'm going to do it. And so I was like, I'm going to shoot my shot. I reached out. I was like, do you want to knit with me and hang? And she said yes. And so we started hanging out. And then from there, we just sort of picked up more people. So we do have a local group, and it's all through Instagram and just people we run into, and we just kind of keep adding more people to it.
Yeah. So if people are seeing this from Portland,
yes,
they would just follow you and
send me a
post
DM,
Yeah.
and I will add you to our massive Instagram group chat, and you can hang. And please, we want you to come.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who is somebody in the maker community that you admire, and why?
Oh, I mean, anyone that makes anything I admire. But, I mean, I will say that I was really inspired by you and, watching you work on your app, and I thought that was really cool.
I didn't pay her to say that.
No.
Thank you.
She didn't pay me to say that, but I did. I enjoyed, watching that journey. And I just thought it was, fun to kind of follow something from... I think I found you in the middle of it. I love the Farmer's Daughter Fiverr story. I think Candace is just such a sweet person, and I think watching anyone start their hand dye journey and then grow it into a big company is just so impressive, and it takes a ton of work.
It really does. If you had to knit with one color yarn for the rest of your life, what would that color be?
It would be red. Red is my neutral. I'm making a red hat. I just made a red cardigan.
Yeah.
Red is 100% a neutral
That's
for
your
me.
color.
Yeah.
Nice. Last but not least, tell us something about yourself, a fun fact, if you will, that has nothing to do with crafting or yarn or anything like that.
Okay. Once I flew to Peru just to have lunch.
Okay, now I need to know more.
So when my husband and I first got together, we realized we both love restaurants, and we were just kind of getting settled as adults. And so we were like, oh, we have money to go to tasting menus and do that. And one day we were talking about what are the best restaurants in the world. So we looked up the list of the top 50 restaurants in the world, and a lot of them are in France, and that was a little out of our budget, but a few were in Lima, Peru. And we just thought, well, we've never thought about going to Peru, but let's go. And we planned a trip, and we went to this restaurant called Central. Right. And there's a beautiful episode of Chef's Table on Netflix about it. Oh. And we had this amazing lunch where every course was foraged at a different elevation. And it was just an unforgettable experience.
That's awesome.
And the only reason we went there was to have lunch.
I mean, you stayed longer than just
We stayed a
lunch,
week,
right?
but
Okay.
we flew in the morning, then we left. No,
Yeah.
we stayed for a week, but we never would have thought of Lima
Yeah.
if we hadn't looked up this list of restaurants.
That's awesome.
So lunch is the reason why we went.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there, my name's Kristine Vehar, and I'm the co-owner of A Verb for Keeping Warm.
What is your maker journey? Where did everything begin?
Wow. When I was a little girl, I spent summers with my grandma in rural Illinois, and that's where I learned to sew and knit.
Where in Illinois?
In a very tiny town called Sterling. Are you from Illinois?
My mom grew up in Libertyville,
Okay, where's that at?
outside of Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was born in Iowa, so
Oh, I was born in Iowa too.
Clinton, Iowa.
Des Moines.
Okay. I was like,
That's
yeah.
hysterical.
I was like, what if we were born in the same small
Wouldn't that be
Iowa town?
amazing?
Yeah.
Same hospital. Separated at birth.
Yes. Are you my sister?
Yeah.
What did it look like getting ready for this show for you all?
Months ago, we started planning. We started thinking about our samples that we wanted to bring, right? We always love to have a really beautiful array of samples so people can see all the yarns and many different combinations and different colorways. So we started kind of putting that together, and then we went through multiple iterations of orders that we put together kind of with the dye studio. And then, we worked on getting all the yarn ready, and in natural dyeing, which is what we do, there's multiple kind of layers of process that goes on to prepare the yarn for dyeing, and then doing different layers of dyeing one over the other, and then washing, scanning, labeling, packing. This year we shipped 2 boxes up here, and then we carried the rest on the plane with us. We don't travel a lot to show because we're based in Oakland, and there's kind of a small 5-person team that we work in. It's good. It gets us kind of going, a little learning curve to pick up and travel.
What has been your favorite thing about Sacred Sheep this year?
Oh my goodness. Both years, it's been just amazing. The space is amazing. It's so warm, beautiful, inviting. All the people who vend here have incredible products that are all, heartfelt, made, so much intention behind each person's work. Clearly, everyone's heart is in it. Everyone is extremely friendly, both the vendors as well as all of the customers that come through. For us especially, I love Oakland in the Bay Area, but we don't have really big seasons. So it's really nice for us to come up here and just get a little bit of a fall season feeling. So the trees being with the red leaves and the gold leaves, and wearing kind of our bigger knits and really relishing in that fall feeling.
Tell us a fun fact about yourself that has nothing to do with making or crafting.
Okay, I love that. I'm like, let me tell you. No.
Yeah.
Okay. This is very maybe nerdy, but I really love beans. I love growing beans, and I love collecting beans. One of the reasons I love them is that they are really good for soil. So we have a really big garden, and we grow indigo and corn and squash. And so beans are constantly putting nitrogen into the soil. So that's kind of how I got into it. And then from there, it just took off. And there's so many different colors, varieties. The history is really incredible. I'm a big nerd about beans.
I love that. That's so great. What is the most memorable piece of advice that you've received from another maker?
A piece of advice that made me really angry but ended up being correct was years and years ago. Adrian, my wife, and I wanted to leave the city. I love living in a city, but it's also really intense and it's very expensive. Mm-hmm. And we were looking at moving out to the Nevada City area, kind of the Sierra foothills. And I had a friend. She's an interior designer, so not exactly a maker, but like a creative person. And I told her on New Year's I wanted to move out there. We're out at her place, and she was about 15 years older than I was, maybe even more, like 20 years older.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, nope, you're young and you need to be in the city. And that's where there's a lot of people and you're going to meet a lot of people, see a lot of people, be able to employ people. And you need to be in the city. And I seriously like wanted to get in my car and drive away and just be like, no, I want to live in the country. But she was totally 100% right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, at Verb being kind of in the city, we get to meet a lot of people and, people fly into San Francisco and come to Verb. And yeah, it's just, there's many more resources. She had life experience working in creative fields. And so, yeah, maybe in 10 years I get to go and have
That was
like
going to
a
be my
little,
next question.
right?
Is there a certain amount of time where you're like, okay, maybe I will?
Yeah, I think we've consistently kept our eye on looking at, different properties kind of with 2 hours from the Bay Area. We call it
Yeah.
Camp Verb, where, maybe we could have a residency program, kind of grow things and we can enjoy it. Other people who are in the making community can enjoy it. I have such a tremendous value for nature, so I love being in it. I get so much from it, and so kind of having that outlet would be really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you could knit with only one color of yarn for the rest of your life, what would that color be?
Easy, indigo.
Indigo.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, done. I mean, I have to force myself to knit and other stuff. Like I believe, like looking like a big blueberry sometimes, like walking around.
Love
I'm
it.
all good with that. I think blue is a neutral. I love indigo, the process of indigo, the plant, the whole thing. So yeah, indigo definitely.
Is there somebody in the making community as a whole that you look up to?
So many people. Like that's part of the reason I love being in the making community. Is due to all the creativity and inspiration that I receive from my peers as well as from folks that, shop with us at Verb. Years and years ago, I worked at a fabric store in Oakland called Poppy that I loved. And I worked with this incredible group of women, all different ages, all different types of skills they were bringing. And then customers would come in and choose fabrics that I would never think of for a project, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they would make it, they would come back and show, and it completely expanded my understanding of materials, of textures, of colors. And that's when I really developed that love of wanting to work with people in raw materials and see what someone would do with something. So like even this weekend when people come through and they make up their own combinations to do any of the, samples behind me, it's like, oh God, I want to make each one. We've definitely had really influential mentors. Kathy Hattori at Botanical Colors has been, I don't know if I'd be a natural dyer without her. Like in the early days, 18, 20 years ago when I started natural dyeing, I still have doubts. It's still really hard work. But, back then I was like, why am I doing this? There's so many easier ways to, make yarn and have a business and what have you. And she would just really like sit down with me and get real with me and be like, let's talk about why you want this. Why do you love natural dyes, and just very encouraging. So yeah, I really think of her as someone who's pivotal in that pathway.
And where can everybody find your shop and where can they find you online?
Yeah, so we are at averbforkeepingwarm.com. We're on Instagram at AVFKW. We're in Oakland, California. We do have a storefront right now. It's mainly open Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. But, hit us up if you want a special appointment.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you could make an outfit of yarn, knit an outfit of yarn, crochet, whatever. Why am I saying an outfit of yarn? ADHD. It kind of makes you say things funky sometimes.
It sure does.
It sure does.
I can relate.
Yeah. Okay. I'm nervous that the camera's gonna
You're
get knocked
nervous?
over. Yeah, but it's fine. No one will. Yeah. She just dives through the so many people. I've had my stuff knocked over at so many
Microphone
shows.
down
It's
here.
like casual. It's a casual moment.
Right.
Oh, that's me when I'm little. Apparently,
You haven't
that's
changed
what.
today.
Thank you.
She looks exactly the same.
Let me find my okay. So, as many of you know, Making was an app for makers for a while, right? Benny, for reals? This is my life. This is my life when I try and record anything. 1 second, please.